everyone, welcome. Welcome to my practice space. So you'll want your mat. You'll want to set your mat out. I'll recommend you have a blanket. You can find a medium-sized blanket in your house and just fold it so it forms some kind of rectangle or square that you could sit on, or that could protect your shins or your knees and your knees. Optionally, you could have a block if you have a block at home. If you don't have a block, you could find a shoebox. One of those big cans could work, although that might be kind of heavy. Yeah, the block is just like helpful for a couple of shapes, but if you don't have it, don't worry. You really don't need it. You'll be fine without it. Okay, so we're gonna get started by coming to sit on the edge of the blanket. And sit up nice and tall. Shoulders drip down your back. Crown of head lifts up tall. Find a spot on the floor to gaze softly, or go ahead and close the eyes. And to start your practice, you're just gonna tune into your breath coming in and out through your nose. Feel how your breath travels down into your belly on your inhales, and the path your breath takes on your exhales. Try to cultivate a breath here in and out through your nose that's smoother, longer, and deeper than how you breathe off of your mouth. A longer inhale, a slower exhale, and a smoothness in the transitions between. See if you could sit up a little taller here, allow the shoulders to get a little heavier. Lift your heart and gently pull your belly in. Take a big, deep breath in through your nose. And on your exhale, open your mouth and sigh. Let's do that 2 more times together. Big, deep breath in. And when you're full, open your mouth and release. And once more, just like that. Big breath in. Softly blink open your eyes, and we'll start to connect some movement with breath here. On your next inhale, sweep your arms high to the sky, press your palms. Exhale your hands right in front of your heart. Let's do that 2 more times with breath. Inhale, arms up. And exhale to release. Once more, just like that. Inhale, arms up. And exhale to lower. You're going to take a twist to the right here. So bring your right hand to the floor behind you. Your left arm comes across your body, resting on the top of your thigh. Allow this hand behind you to serve as a kickstand, helping you to get tall in your spine. And let your shoulders be heavy away from your ears. Feel the top of your head lengthen towards the sky, and then gaze back towards the wall behind you or towards your back shoulder. Allow each breath to be deep all the way down into your belly. Each exhale to be full. Go ahead and unwind. Take this twist the other way. Again, the hand behind you is like a kickstand, helping you to get tall. Lifting your heart. Gaze towards the back shoulder. Allow your shoulders to be heavy. And breathe length into your spine on each inhale. And soften down into your hips on each exhale. Allow your exhales to draw your belly back towards your spine. And allow your inhales to swell your belly. You'll unwind, face forward, Plant your left palm on the floor by your hips. Spread the fingers wide. Sweep your opposite arm up and then lean over. Keep rooting into your sits bones. Keep pressing your right rib cage over. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and then lean a little deeper. Breathe into your side body, into your rib cage. Soften the shoulders down your back. On your next inhale, come all the way up to sit. Plant your right palm. Exhale, lean the opposite way. Shoulders come away from ears, rooting across both sit bones. Press into your left rib cage. Breathe there. On your next inhale, rise all the way up to sit. Exhale, shoulders soften. You're going to climb forward onto your hands and knees, coming into a tabletop. If you have a blanket, you could bring the blanket under your knees to protect them, but super optional. You want your knees under your hips, your hands under your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide so you can see a slice of the mat in between each finger. And we're going to float through our cat-cow here. So on an inhale, gently drop your belly, lift your heart, lift your gaze. And on your exhale, lift your belly, round up your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, your belly drops, your heart lifts, your gaze lifts. And exhale to reverse. Lengthen your tailbone, round up your spine, tuck your chin. Keep moving, keep flowing with your breath. Find these actions 2 more times each side. You're going to end with the spine rounding up, and then inhale, come to tabletop, neutral spine. Make sure the toes are pointing back. Bring them to touch. Bring your hips all the way back to your heels and find child's pose. So resting forehead, chest, elbows into the mat, and you're going to breathe here. Start to make your way back to a tabletop. You can go ahead and come off of this blanket, move it to the side, have it nearby. And then you're gonna press yourself up to downward facing dog. So if you need more instruction, from hands and knees, tuck your toes. Walk your hands a big handprint forward, fingers are spread wide. Press into all the surfaces of your hands, press into your toes, lift your hips up high to the sky. Now here, keep a bend in your knees to protect the backs of your legs and really reach your hips up high. You're melting heart towards thighs. And then from here, start to wag your tail gently side to side, bending more deeply into one knee and then the other. You could take this opportunity to shake your head yes and no. Stretch into the muscles of the face. Wriggle out your jaw. Take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh. And then from your downward facing dog, you're going to start to walk towards the top of your mat. When you arrive, stay folded for your ragdoll. Keep the distance in the feet. Keep a bend in the knees, belly towards thighs. And then take hold of opposite elbows here. Start to shake your head, yes and no. And then you could start to sway your body from side to side. So like bending more deeply into one knee and then the other. A little more weight into the toes. Head is so heavy here.
And then release your elbows. Keep a soft bend in the knees. Slowly roll up to stand, stacking vertebra on vertebra. Once you're vertical, rolling your shoulders up, back, and down. So come to find mountain pose, Tadasana. You want your feet to be close. They don't have to be touching, but they could be. The toes face forward. And let's start by finding all the surfaces of the feet. So pour some weight into one foot and then the other. It's kind of like the Tin Man, right? A little weight back and forward. Come into the inner edges of the feet and then the outer. And then try to root down into all the surfaces of your feet that you just explored. Keep a very soft bend in the knees so you can feel the tops of your thighs engaged. Pull your low belly in. Feel how that lengthens your tailbone towards your heels. Now, with the belly in, lift the heart, shoulders away from ears, hands by the sides. Lift up through the top of the head, not the chin. This is mountain pose, Tadasana. We're going to flow here through our half sun salutations. So on an inhale, sweep your arms high to the sky. And on your exhale, press your hips back to fold to your toes. Bring fingertips to shins. Inhale, reach your heart forward, shoulders peel back. And then exhale to fold. Ground into your feet. Inhale, rise, arms high to the sky. Exhale, hands by your sides. Let's do that 2 more times with breath. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And exhale, hips go back, fold. Weight into the toes. Inhale, lift your heart forward, shoulders back. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms high to the sky. And exhale, hands by your sides. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms high to the sky. Exhale, hands by your sides. Nice. So we'll do that one more time so we can step back into one of our standing poses. So come towards the top of your mat. Find your mountain pose. Feel really sturdy here. On an inhale, sweep your arms up. And on your exhale, dive forward towards your toes. Weight into the toes. Inhale, lift your heart up halfway. Exhale to bend your knees, plant your hands. Step your left foot back in space. So you're coming to a lunge with your right foot forward. Now, you can pad up with a blanket here because we're going to lower that back knee. Go ahead and lower your back knee down. You can keep toes tucked or point them back. From here, climb your hands to your front thigh. A little bit of balance here. Hands stack, press into the palms to lift your heart and drop your shoulders away from your ears. Now, notice this back thigh. It's not straight up and down. It's not hovering right over my knee. It's reaching forward towards the top left-hand corner of my mat. If you feel a little wobble, you can open the front knee to the right a little more, and you can tuck the back toe. That helps with balance. So, pressing here, lifting here, shoulders away from ears, breathe. If you're feeling very steady in your balance, you could reach the hands back, interlace them at your low back, and then reach your heart up to the sky, finding a shoulder opener, stretch across the chest. Breathe. On your next exhale, lower your hands down to the mat. You'll tuck your back toe and lift your back knee. Carefully move the blanket out of the way. It can also stay there, it's not a big deal. You're gonna move your right foot over to your right thumb, and you're gonna spin your back heel down. So look, those back toes are angling towards the upper left-hand corner of your mat, or about 10 o'clock, right? Bend in the front knee. Inhale, rise up, arms frame ears. Chest faces forward for warrior one pose. I'm gonna turn for a second to face you so you can see from a different angle. Hi. So So there's, my hips are facing forward, my back toes are angling forward, deep bend in the front knee, right? Lifting up, shoulders away from ears. You stay here. One more big inhale, lift your heart. And then on your exhale, lower your hands down. You're gonna step forward to fold in half. It could be a couple steps, it could be one step. Stay folded. Bring fingertips to shins. Inhale, reach your heart forward, weight into the toes. And then on your exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your right foot back in space. So we're coming into a lunge, the opposite foot is forward. Go in search of your blanket, bring it under your knee, lower the back knee down. You can have the back toes tucked for more balance, or you could point them back, it's up to you. Climb the hands to the top thigh, front thigh. Hands stack, press into the thigh to lengthen the arms, lift the heart, shoulders away from ears. Now remember, this back hip, it's not straight up and down, we're not here, this is more like a pirate pose. It's leaning forward, right? So this right hip point is shooting forward. Find a spot on the floor to focus your gaze, your drishti. Soften the shoulders away from your ears, lift your heart a little higher and breathe. And if you'd like the shoulder opener on this side, you feel steady, go ahead and reach the hands back, interlace them. Inhale, lift the heart up. Just a couple more breaths here. On your next exhale, lower your hands down. You'll tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, slide the blanket out of the way. Front foot comes all the way to the left thumb. Spin the back heel down, 45 degrees. The back toes are still angling forward, about 2 o'clock on your mat. Keep the bend in the front knee. On an inhale, rise up, arms front ears, chest faces forward for warrior one pose. Look at your back toes. See that they're angling forward. Bend a little deeper to your front knee. You can actually bring one hand to your low back and one hand to your pelvis. Try to lengthen the tailbone, lift the belly, and then pull the arms up, shoulders away from ears. Keep spinning your right rib cage forward. Breathe here, just a couple more breaths. Exhale the hands down, step forward to fold in half. It could be a couple steps, maybe it's one. Ground into the feet, inhale, rise, arms high to the sky. Exhale, hands by your sides. Pause here in mountain pose, stand and breathe. From mountain pose, inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. And on your exhale, fold forward, reach for your toes. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, send the left foot back in space. So once again, our right foot is forward. Now here, very important, that right knee is stacked right over right ankle. So make sure you have a lot of space between front and back foot, okay? Now you're gonna pour weight into left hand. Now if you have a block or a block-like thing, that could be useful here to bring the floor closer to you. Weight into left hand, inhale, sweep your right arm high to the sky. Come into this revolved runner's lunge. Notice your bottom shoulder, it loves to hike up towards your ear. So see if you could draw it back, like packing your shoulder blade onto your back body. Press more firmly into the palm on the floor so you can reach up with those lifted fingertips and breathe here. Exhale your hand down. Keep the front foot where it is. Spin the back heel down so it's parallel with the back edge of your mat. Lead with your left arm, rise up, warrior two. So arms are out to a T. Gaze towards the front fingers. Bend deeply into the front knee. Hips are level, so they're straight from left to right. Notice if you're leaning forward more than you need to, reach back a little more so your torso is lifting straight up out of your hips. Look down at your front foot. Make sure you can see your big toe. If you can't, open the knee towards the pinky toe side of the front foot. From here, keep the legs exactly as they are. You're just gonna flip your front palm. Inhale, lean back to radiate your warrior. Keep breathing here. Wait for your next exhale to cartwheel your arms to the earth, your hands to the earth. Step forward, fold in half. Stay folded. Bring your fingertips to shins, weight into toes. Inhale, lift your heart up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands. It's the right foot that goes back now. So the opposite foot is forward, that should be your left foot. Again, make sure left knee is right over left ankle. So give yourself enough space between front and back foot to make that happen. Pour weight into the right hand. It could be on a block or the mat. And then inhale, sweep your left arm high to the sky. So we're twisting in towards the front inner thigh. This is a revolved runner's one. Again, check in with this back shoulder, so this bottom shoulder. Draw it back and down, away from ears, onto your back body. Keep reaching the hands in opposite directions and breathing deeply. Exhale your left hand down. Keep the front foot exactly as it is. You're gonna spin the back heel down so it's parallel with the back edge of your mat. Rise up, warrior two. So the chest faces the long edge of the mat. Hips are level, straight from left to right. Arms out to a T, gazing towards the front fingers. Deep bend in the front knee. Check in with your big toe. Make sure you can see it. If you can't, open the knee more towards the pinky toe side of the front foot and breathe here. This is warrior two. Keep your legs exactly as they are. Flip your front palm. Inhale to lean back. We're radiating the warrior. Another breath here. Wait for your next exhale to bring your hands forward to the earth. And then step forward. Fold in half. Ground into your feet. Inhale, rise. Arms high to the sky. Exhale, release your hands by your sides. Let's pause here in mountain pose to breathe. Feel strong and sturdy from all the way from your feet to your thighs to belly, and then heart and head lift as shoulders soften down the back. On your next inhale, sweep your arms high to the sky. And exhale, fold in half towards the toes. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step the left foot back. So once again, we're in this lunge with the right foot forward. Make sure you have lots of space between front and back foot. Spin the back heel down so it's parallel. Rise up, warrior two. So chest faces the long edge of the mat, arms out to a T. We were here before, right? Look down the front fingers, open the knee towards the pinky toe side of the front foot. Keep the legs exactly as they are. Flip the front palm, inhale, lean back to radiate. This time on your exhale, bring this front forearm to the front thigh, rest it there. Excuse me. Bring your top arm alongside your ear. This is called side angle pose. So again, notice this bottom shoulder. It loves to hike up towards the ear. Draw it away, right? Keep pressing the forearm into the thigh so you can keep the knee opening to the pinky toe side of the front foot. And gently spin your heart to the sky. Breathe here. On your next inhale, rise up straight in the front leg. Exhale, hands to hips. You're going to turn your front toes in. So now all your toes face the same direction. You have this nice wide stance, and we're going to fold forward. So walk your hands back. Right there, your heart lifts, your shoulders open, right? Inhale to lift the chest even higher. And then on your exhale, press your hips back, fold forward. You can bring your hands to the earth. If the earth feels far, go in search of your block or your block-like thing. Bring your hands there, okay? So we're folding forward. From here, put a little bend in your knees. With the bend in the knees, drop the head further, lift the hips even higher. Be aware of the knees. If you tend to lock them out or hyperextend, keep a micro bend in your knees so that you're not stretching into the knee joints. They don't need to stretch. Feel the weight going forward into your toes. Allow your head to get even heavier. Let's breathe here. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, lift your heart. So now head is in line with hips. Pull your belly up. We're going to use the belly here to rise. Bring hands to hips, and then on your next inhale, rise up to stand. Beautiful. Turn the right toes forward. You're going to keep the legs straight, but let's shorten the stance a tiny bit. So bring the back foot in just half the footprint. Okay. Arms up to a T, both legs are straight. The left hip goes back as the right fingers go forward and down. Left arm comes up. So we're coming to triangle pose. If you have a block or a block-like thing, bring it towards the back of your front foot behind your ankle. So the right hand is on the block, the left arm reaches up. Notice how you have this long line of energy on the top half of your body. You're trying to create the same long line of energy on the bottom half of your body. Again, shoulders away from ears. Press firmly into the feet to reach the hips back. And then, like a turtle, pulling its head out of its shell, reach the crown of your head forward. Shoulders go back. Let's breathe here. On your next inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, bend into the front knee, come back to warrior two. Maybe you need to widen your stance a little. And then you're going to cartwheel your hands to the earth, move the block out of the way. This time I'd like you to step back to downward facing dog. From down dog, you can pedal out your feet, wag your tail, shake your head yes and no, and just breathe here. Go ahead and look forward and walk to the top of your mat. When you arrive, bring your fingertips to your shins. Inhale to lift your heart up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Round into your feet. Inhale, rise, arms high to the sky. Exhale, hands by your sides. We're going to do all that on the other side. I'm going to turn this way just so that my body's still facing you, just in case the sound is funky when I'm facing the windows. But you can face whatever way you want. Okay, make sure you have your block nearby. You're coming to stand at the top of your mat. Mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And on your exhale, dive forward. Fingertips to shins. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, bend knees, plant hands. This time it's the right foot going back in space. So we have the left foot forward in this big, long lunge. Knee is right over ankle, okay? Spin the back heel down as parallel. Rise up, warrior two. Deep bend in this front knee. Hips are level. Arms are out to a T. You're gazing towards the front middle finger. Make sure that front knee is opening to the pinky toe side of the front foot. You can see your big toe. You'll keep your legs exactly as they are. Just flip your front palm. Inhale, lean back to radiate. This time on your exhale, come forward. Left forearm to left thigh. Right arm alongside right ear for side angle. Bottom shoulder loves to come up toward your ear, so draw it away. Right? Keep pressing the forearm into the thigh so you can open the knee to the pinky toe side of the front foot. And breathe here. On your next inhale, rise all the way up, straighten your front leg. Exhale, hands to hips, turn the front toes in. So we're going to find this nice wide stance. And we'll do that wide-legged forward fold again. We'll practice a different arm variation. So you can interlace your hands at your low back. Inhale, lift your heart up. And on your exhale, soft bend in the knees. Hips go back, fold forward. If this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, please release your hands to the earth or to your block. Put a very tiny bend in your knees so the weight so carefully goes forward in your toes. And then lift your hips a little higher. So we want to feel weight in the toes. And we want to avoid hyperextending the knees here. Breathe.
Head is heavy. On your next inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, release your hands. Turn your left toes forward. Keep this nice wide stance. Keep the legs straight. Bring your arms out to a T. We're going to practice triangle on this side. So reach your right hip back. Your left fingers go forward and down to shin or maybe that block as your right arm comes up to the sky. So again, I have this nice long line from armpit to hip point on the top. We're trying to create that same length on the bottom. We create that length by reaching the hips back and reaching the head forward, but pulling shoulders away from the ears. Breathe here. On your next inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, bend into your front knee, come back to warrior two, settle in here. And then you'll cartwheel your hands to frame your front foot, move the block out of the way, step back to down dog. Breathe in down dog. From down dog, you're going to walk to the top of your mat. When you get to the top of your mat, bring fingertips to shins. Inhale, lift your chest up. And then exhale, fold. Round into the feet. Inhale, rise, arms high to the sky. Exhale, hands by your sides. Beautiful. So standing at the top of the mat, you keep facing forward. We're going to practice pyramid pose. So separate your feet as wide as your hips. Bring your hands to your hips. I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can see. We're going to start by stepping our left foot back in space. So step your left foot back. It's just like 2 or 3 feet, a very short warrior one stance. So your left toe is face forward, your right toe is face forward. Your left toes are pointing at about 11 o'clock on your mat. Hips and chest are forward. Take hold of opposite elbows behind you. Feel how that opens your chest, right? So we're not rounding in the shoulders. You can probably see that better from this angle. We're not rounding forward, we're lifting the shoulders up, okay? Inhale, lift your shoulders up. Exhale, hips go back and you fold forward. Find pyramid pose. So check in with your front hip. Your right hip loves to come forward here. Draw it back in space. Left hip point spins forward. Press into both feet equally. Legs are straight without locking out the knees. And then level your shoulders so they're straight from left to right. You want to feel like the chest is moving forward towards the toes and the hips are moving back. So we're creating length in the spine in this way. Breathe here. On your next inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to hips, step forward. We're going to do it on the other side. So step your right foot back in space, 2.5 feet. Look down at the mat. Imagine you have a balance beam in the middle and you're standing on either side, so a pretty wide stance. The left toes are forward, right toes at about 1 o'clock on your mat, hips and chest forward. Take hold of opposite elbows behind you. Allow that to broaden and lift your chest. Take an inhale, lift your chest a little higher. Exhale, press your hips back, fold forward for pyramid. Again, this left hip loves to come forward. Draw it back in space. Right hip comes forward. You could pull the belly up a little more to hollow out the belly and fold forward more. Level the shoulders, they're straight from left to right. Reach the heart forward to the toes. Reach the hips back towards the wall behind you. And breathe into the backs of your legs. Pressing into the big toe mounds of both feet. Evenly distributing weight into front and back foot. On your next inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to hips, step forward.
We're gonna practice our balance shape here, tree pose, so you can come to a wall if you'd like. Feet are as wide as hips, hands on the hips. We're gonna start by pouring weight into the right foot. Lift your left foot off the ground. Open the left knee to the side and guide the foot to the leg, toes down. Foot could be on the calf, on the ankle. Maybe your hips feel really open today, you feel steady, you guide the foot with the hand to the top of the inner thigh. Now, pay attention to this outer hip of the standing leg. Can you draw it in a little more? And then level the hips, they're straight from left to right. Pull the belly in, lift the heart, shoulders are heavy. Press your palms in front of your heart. Find a spot on the floor to focus your gaze, that's called a drishti. When the gaze is focused, it gives the brain, the mind, one less thing to worry about, right? It's not wondering, what am I looking at? I have to process this information. So you can focus on the balance. Breathe. Go ahead and release your hands to your hips. Bring your lifted knee forward and down. Shake out the standing leg, the standing foot. Roll it around. And we'll do that on the other side. So plant the feet, hips width distance. Now you'll pour weight into your left leg. Bring the right foot up. Open the knee to the side. And guide the foot to the standing leg. So maybe it's at the calf. Maybe it's at the ankle. Maybe your hips feel open, maybe you feel more balanced on this side. You could guide the foot with the hand towards the inner thigh. Pay attention to this outer hip of the standing leg. Could you draw it in more? And then pull your belly in, level your hips. With the whole bottom half of the body really strong, lift the heart, drop the shoulders, press your palms in front of your heart. Find that drishti, that spot to focus your gaze, and breathe here. The head is light like a balloon lifting up. Feel the strength of your legs, the stability of your body, the depth of your breath. Go ahead and release your hands to your hips. Bring your lifted knee forward and down. Shake out the standing leg. Really nice work. Come to stand at the top of your mat. Come to mountain pose, Padasana. For mountain pose, you'll inhale, lift your arms high. And then exhale, dive, reach for your toes. Fingertips to shins, inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, bend knees, plant hands, step left foot back in space. Go ahead and lower the back knee down. Option to pad up here. So a lot of lefts and rights coming at you, but I know you got this. Your right hand, bring it to your thigh. Turn your chest in. Apologies if the sound goes out as I'm looking towards the windows. Now you're gonna hook your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Bring your palms to press, spin your heart up. This is revolve side angle. I'm gonna turn around so you can see it. Okay. Great. So just breathe here. From here, you're going to unwind your hands to the floor. That back knee is still lowered. Tuck the back toes for a second, lift the back knee, move the blanket over to the right, and then lower the back knee down. We're gonna come to pigeon pose. So the front foot, scoot it behind your left wrist, and then lower your right knee and shin down. The back foot, you're gonna send it very long behind you. Couple things. Make sure your right knee is to the outside of your right hip. It's not in front of it, it's more towards super far to the right edge of the mat. Take your blanket, slide it under your right butt cheek for more support. Look over your left shoulder. See that the left toes are in line with the middle of your left butt cheek. And then look over your right shoulder just to square your hips. We're gonna fold forward here. You could come to the forearms. If you have a soft
thing that's like a block, you could bring your forehead to it. Otherwise, just holding here. If you are not feeling very much stretch in your outer right hip, you could extend yourself forward and lay your torso down. Wherever you're at, try to find a soft jaw and just breathe here. Send breath all the way down into your outer right hip. And make sure you're not holding any tension in the jaw or the face. So bring your hands under your shoulders, lift your heart. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knees, and just kind of scoot the back knee forward. We're gonna come to hands and knees. Move the blanket over to the left side. And just from tabletop, we're gonna take some hip rolls. So lift that right knee and kind of roll it out forward and back. Might feel good to lengthen the leg long and do some big hip circles forward and back. Okay, we're gonna find all that on the other side from hands and knees. I'm just turning around so you'll be able to see. So from hands and knees, you're gonna bring your left foot forward in between your hands. So we have this low crescent lunge. You could slide that blanket underneath your knee here. Bring left hand to left thigh, twist the heart in. This bottom elbow is gonna hook on the outside of the front thigh. You're gonna bring your palms to press. And then spin your heart up to the sky, up to the thumbs, finding this revolved side angle pose. Breathe here. From here, you'll unwind, hands to the earth. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee just enough to slide the blanket out. Bring it towards the left side of your mat, then lower the back knee down softly. The front foot, it goes all the way behind your right wrist. Lower the shin and the knee, but make sure the knee is to the outside of the left hip. You want the left knee on the left edge of the mat. Scoot the right leg really far behind you. Slide the blanket under your left butt cheek for some support. Right toes come straight out of the right hip. Gaze over left shoulder just to square the hips a little more. And then you're gonna fold forward, either coming to forearms or all the way to chest. Breathe here. Send breath all the way down into your outer left hip. Relieve any tension you're holding in your jaw or your face. Bring hands under shoulders, lift your heart. Slide that blanket out from underneath you. We'll meet in hands and knees. From hands and knees, you'll take some movements to relieve that left hip. It's like a fire hydrant pose, going forward and back. And then straighten your leg, go forward and back. And then we're gonna meet on our bellies. So come to lay on your belly. Reach your toes back. Reach your hands back. Bring your forehead to the mat. We're going to practice some belly back bending. Roll your shoulders open. Press into your pelvis, feel your tailbone lengthen. And then just lift your chest and your forehead. Don't come too high, just high enough that you can feel your heart start to open and lift. Lift your hands, lift your feet, your knees, maybe the tops of your thighs. Turn your thumbs down so your palms face in.
And like a turtle, reaching its head out of the shell, keep reaching your head forward. Take another big inhale here, find length from head to toe, and then exhale, release. You could sigh. Bring one cheek to the mat, gently shimmy your hips side to side. Bend your knees and windshield wiper the shins from side to side. And we'll do that one more time. Release tops of the feet to the mat, bring forehead to the mat. Palms are down here. Inhale, lift everything. Chest, forehead, hands, feet, knees. Check in with your low back. If it doesn't feel good on your low back, lower down a little. Option to interlace your hands. Reach knuckles for heels. Keep reaching crown of head and toes in opposite direction. You want to be so active. Remember, like we're Superwoman flying through the air, and we're re-entering the atmosphere, so we have to be super aerodynamic here. Another big inhale. Exhale, release. Bring the opposite cheek to the mat. Shimmy the hips and windshield wiper the shins. From here, you're going to roll over onto your back. When you get to your back, you want to plant your feet and have your arms alongside your body, palms down. So your feet are going to be hips width distance, and you want your ankles pretty close to your body so that your ankles are underneath your knees. You want your toes facing straight ahead. You want your shoulders pressing into the mat, have your palms pressing into the mat, palms down. We're going to practice bridge pose. Pressing your feet, your hands. Inhale, lift your hips up, roll onto the tops of your shoulders. Okay, check in. If this doesn't feel good on your low back, you're going to come down a little. Or you're going to try to squeeze your butt to relieve the tension. If you're okay where you're at, start to move your upper arms underneath your upper back. Interlace your hands, reach your knuckles for your heels. Keep pressing into the feet to lift the hips. Press into your arms to lift your chest. And breathe here. Move your hands and arms out from underneath you and lower your hips down. Keep your feet wide. Windshield wiper your shins from side to side. We're going to do that once more. If that didn't feel good on your low back, please don't do it again. You'll stay here. This is called constructive rest, so this is a great place to be. If you'd like one more active back bend, feet are hips width distance, toes face forward. Arms alongside the body, palms down. You want the feet pretty close to the body. Press down, inhale to lift. Roll onto the tops of your shoulders. Move your upper arms underneath your upper back, squeezing shoulder blades towards each other. Interlace your hands, reach knuckles for heels. You'll breathe here. Move your arms and hands up from underneath you, lower down. And then go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze and make gentle rocking motions across your low back. Maybe all the way to your outer hips. Finding a quality of a massage here. And then with your knees in, bring your arms out to the sides, palms up. Release your knees to your left. Finding this supine twist. We're going to breathe here we'll be here for about 5 breaths to really settle in. Feeling your right shoulder press into the mat. Feeling your breath swell into your back body. Let's find the shape on the other side. So bring your knees up through center and release them to your right. Keep feeling your left shoulder melt into the mat. Your whole body is softening into the earth. Feel the stretch, the twist along the left side body. And allow your breath to swell into your back body. Go ahead and bring your knees up through center, hug them in towards your chest, give yourself a squeeze. And then either by rocking up and down your spine or rolling over onto one side, you're going to make your way up to sit. You'll stay facing the front of your mat. I'm just turning so you can see me. And bring your feet to press. Peel some flesh off your sits bones behind you. Take hold of your ankles. So we have feet pressing, knees wide. Sit up nice and tall. Take an inhale here. And then on your exhale, fold forward for Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Inhale to rise up to sit. You're going to keep your left knee bent, extend your right leg long. Press the sole of your foot inside your leg. Turn your chest to face your long leg. Keep those toes flexed. Get really tall in your spine. And then start to climb forward. Walk your hands forward. Allow your chin to tuck, your neck to soften. And here your shoulders could round forward. Breathe into your back body, especially into your low back. Start to walk your hands back, roll up to sit. Apologies if you can hear my dog whimpering and barking in the background. Her owners are home and she's very excited. Okay, so we're gonna find the shape on the other side. Extend your bent leg long. Bend your long leg. Press the sole of the foot inside the leg. Flex those toes in the long leg. Hands frame the leg. Get really tall. Turn your chest. And then fold forward. Walk your hands out in front of you. Tuck your chin. Allow the back of your neck to soften. Allow your shoulders to round forward. And breathe into your back body here. Start to walk your hands back, roll up to sit. Just a couple more shapes before we come to Shavasana. Extend your legs long in front of you, bring your big toes to touch. Peel some flesh off your sits bones behind you. Keep your feet flexed. Bring your hands by your hips, plant the palms. Press into the earth to lift your chest up, but draw shoulders away from ears, kind of like hugging elbows in. Breathe here. This is called Dandasana, staff pose. And then exhale, go ahead and round forward, climb your hands out in front of you. Again, allow your upper back to round. Allow your chin to tuck. Allow your neck to be soft, but keep flexing into your feet. And breathing into your back body. Start to walk your hands back, roll up to sit.
and just soften. You've arrived at the most glorious, most delicious part of your practice. You get to have Shavasana. So you'll just separate your feet as wide as your mat and come to lay on your back. If you have a blanket, I encourage you to use it. If there's any tension in the low back, you could make the blanket into like a log, a roll-like shape. Bring that under the backs of your knees or your legs, and then come to lay on your back. That could be really sweet. Or you could use the blanket across the hips for some grounding as you come to lay back. You could also put the blanket under the back of your head, of course, like a pillow. So the feet are nice and wide, the arms are away from the body, palms up. And just start to soften. Start to soften your upper back into the mat, mid back and low back. Allow your legs to get heavy and your feet to get soft. Soften into the hands, the fingers, the palms. And we're just going to take a few rounds of breath together to settle in. So go ahead and inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale, sigh. Take another big inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh. And once more, just like that. You stay here laying. You'll stay in stillness and silence with your breath and your body. And I'll call you back to wakefulness in just a few minutes. And we'll close out the practice together. Very slowly begin to deepen your breath. Take a big deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. Roll out wrists and ankles. Gently rock your head from side to side. Slowly start to bend your knees, bring your feet to the mat. And with your eyes closed, roll over onto one side and pause there, curling in on yourself. Just take a moment here to thank yourself for coming to your mat today. Thank yourself for embarking on this journey. And take a moment to truly marvel at your precious physical body, for all of the amazing things it does for you every moment of your existence. And keeping the gaze soft, maybe even the eyes closed, you'll press yourself up to a comfortable seat. And bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your low belly. And from here, we'll close practice by joining our voices in the sounding vibrational Om 2 times. Once to honor the space that's been the container for your practice today, and once to honor each other. Let's inhale together. Gently bow forward in deep reverence and gratitude to yourself. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope that you find some peace in your practice, some joy in your body, some grounding in your breath. And I hope to see you again soon.